Hello everyone, this is the Omega Lynch, and sadly this ain't gonna be a toy interview. It's more of a rant and review of TransArt Transmetal Cheetor. And I tell you, we Beast Wars fans are cursed. And the reason I'm saying this is because this third-party Cheetor toy has turned out to be a real letdown. All the joints on this guy are loose. The connector points to hold the backpack up is pretty weak, and because of the chrome metal, the toy is unnecessarily heavy. Plus, the overall structure doesn't feel good to me. The faults are more apparent in beast mode. You'll notice that I don't have the tail plugged in. I haven't lost it. It's still in the package. I just wanted to show how weak the joints are in beast mode. As you see here, this joint is pretty loose. Same with this one. It doesn't really hold up all that well. Like, it can if you get into a correct pose, but the joints are still pretty weak. And as harsh as it sounds, this honestly feels like something you would find at a dollar store. And this is what TransArt has been putting out, and I can see why they went out of business. Not that I'm attacking them or anything. I know from watching other reviews that this isn't the standard for their toys. It's just when you're making so many figures, there are bound to be a few misfires here and there, which is unfortunate. Because this figure corrects the flaw the original one had. Where the original one, Beast Mode head would over time drip downward, and that was because in order to transform it, the arms had to fold over its chest and then lift upward. And with nothing to hold the arms in place, they would over time drip down. Now the TransArt one corrects the flaw the original one had by having the arms flip over from the sides of the torso, which is how he transformed on the show. On top of that, they added pegs on the arms so it could better plug in, which is something the original should have had. And give you a better idea of what I mean here, I'll show you. See, his arms flip up. That's how he transformed in the actual show. If you ever watched Beast Wars, you'll see this is how he did it. His arms didn't come over his chest; they flipped over like that. Right? And you'll see there's little pegs that plug in these little holes there. How better secure it. Why they didn't add that in the original, I will never know. And speaking of which, one of the reasons I think the original Transmetal Cheetor transformed the way it did was to recreate the way Cheetor fired his energy blasts. Because on the show, he would fire energy blasts by pressing his hands together, even though in one episode we saw him firing energy blasts with one hand. So that probably wasn't necessary. But I find that Hasbro tends to half-baked some of their products. That being said, I will give TransArt some credit here. There is a button on the back in Beast Mode, where if you press it, it will cause his sub-vehicle mode wings to pop out, which is a nice touch, and explains the size. I will show you real quick. Just press this button here and see what I mean by loose joints. Nice chest piece popped out. See how it's looting like that. I just wish they left out the chrome or didn't use so much of it. The lower legs are made of chrome as well as the torso and the backpack, which is probably could have done without it. Look, I don't like it when modern toy companies, be it first or third, big or small, use metal in their toys. The only reason toy companies in the old days used metal was because that was the only material they had. And I know the Transmetals had some chrome on them. However, I really don't think using chrome is needed to make modern versions of the Transmetal toy line. Especially when a lot of those Transmetal figures didn't really have that much die-cast metal built into them to begin with. Considering most of those Transmetal figures were mostly plastic with a little bit of chrome on them, why TransArt thought they needed to use metal to update them, like more chrome die-cast metal to update them with, I don't know, unless that was the only material they had to work with. If it was me, I just would have used solid plastic for the whole thing, would have left out the chrome completely. But whatever, TransArt went with what they thought was best. Now we're at the part that will ignite the wrath of all those G1 trolls and Hasbro loyalists, who will tell me that you shouldn't make demands of Hasbro or say you think Hasbro exists to only please you. And to those people I say, do you think it matters? Do you really think if by random chance that Hasbro somehow manages to see this video, they're going to listen to it? Of course not. They're going to ignore it and keep doing what they've been doing. So really, who am I hurting with this rant of mine? And even then, making modern versions of Transmetal Beast Wars characters should be low risk and high reward for them. And even if it does fail on them, they can always go back to G1 and the Michael Bay Transformers. And hell, if money's the issue here, then just ditch the chrome. They didn't need to have that much. They didn't need that much to begin with. And honestly, I think having all that chrome ruins the toy. Look, like it or not, Beast Wars breathed new life for Transformers, and everything that came after helped keep it going. Look, I'm not going to say I know what's best for Hasbro. Hell, the people in charge don't even know what is best for the company. And honestly, at this point, they may as well outsource Transformers to Takara Tomy. Because with Tomy new Transformers toy line, they are showing that if there is one thing that kids like more than cars and dinosaurs, it's animals. Which is probably why we're seeing some Beast Formers in Hasbro's Cyber World toy line. But I'm starting to get off topic. Back to TransArt Transmetal Cheetor. I love that it corrects the flaw the original had. However, with the flaw that it corrected, it ended up with even more flaws. And I feel that people at TransArt went overboard with the metal parts. Less metal and more classic would probably have been better. That being said, if a third-party toy company can make an up-to-date Transmetal Cheetor, then Hasbro has no excuse. And I don't want to hear all those Hasbro loyalists defend them. If Hasbro can give us a core-class Beast Machine Cheetor, then they can make a Transmetal one. And for all those who are going to say that Beast Wars stuff didn't sell well, do you think that Age of the Prime stuff is going to do any better? Sure, the Fallen and those Combiner teams will sell well, but that will probably be it. Some of those 13 Prime characters may sell okay, but I don't see a lot of them. I don't see a lot of big numbers with those characters. Of course, I could end up being wrong. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Again, the TransArt Transmetal Cheetor is disappointing, but that's the thing about these transforming robot toys. They're always going to be a mixed bag. Some are good and some are terrible. Anywho, like before, if you like my content, subscribe and share the video. You can also support me by buying one of my books. I will try to leave a link below. And if I don't, play my other videos have links. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll be back.